Living Seed Media brings to you God's Word, which is His comprehensive equipment for changing lives. May the Lord impact your heart as you encounter His Word. For further inquiry or counsel, contact Peace House, P.O. Box 971, Boko, Benue State, Nigeria. Telephone numbers 0703 0363659, 0703 7681198. Email address lsmedia@livingseed.org, or visit our website at www.livingseed.org. Let us sit back and listen as the servant of God brings forth the word of life.
That's why I'm telling you that every other profession does not carry the prime of place that the teacher carries. Whenever you listen to a senator or even president or a governor of a state and he performs blunders when he's making speech, that you feel like covering your head and say, hey, Oga, yeah. Excuse me, where did that come from? Who omitted his pronunciation? His teacher. The issue I'm raising with you, sirs and ma'ams, is that the labor of a teacher over the life of a student is at the foundation. And if the foundation be destroyed, there's nothing anybody else can do. I just beg God that it will dawn on you first that being a teacher, I'm a foundation layer. And as a foundation layer, you are doing the most critical work in that life. And if you mislay the foundation for that life, you have impaired that life for how many years? For life. So what they said to that man made me afraid. Say, oh, it is life for life. Again, I must tell you, I said the mistake of a civil engineer, the omission of those who make our roads, is the potholes you see. Am I right? You are not talking to me again. It's the potholes. But as bad as those potholes are, if we get a correct man, what can they do? They can scoop it and relay it, and we get a good road on the same spot. But the mistake of a teacher over a life is irreversible. It cannot be relayed. I know you know what I'm talking about. We have an experiment we are making here. Calvary Arrows College is an experiment. bring in children, whether they came from village or came from anywhere. We said, please, don't admit any student midstream. Some people won't forgive me for that, but I don't care. You know why? We don't inherit foundations that we don't know how it is laid. You will only give me useless labor, and at the end you will blame us. If a child will not allow us to start him from JS1, even if he has gone to JS3, and you want him in cavalry arrows, you must agree and say, let him start JS1. So say, no, but all the years. He said, well, if you are concerned about years of malformation, go. But if you are concerned about preparing for a future, that at the end you will look back and say, thank God, I'm not going to spend money twice, then foundation has to be laid. I realize that all such children, that somebody had mismanaged their foundation, and you are doing remedial program for, what did they normally get? Talk to me, please. Nothing. It is not, it's just that you don't understand. It's foundation. When we lay foundation for children, they can easily be their best. Can they easily be their best? They can easily get A1, B2, B3, just like that. And to them, it's just simple. But go and bring somebody whose foundation was not properly laid, and he has missed it, and he has not made it. And you now say, let's quickly do remedial. What is the highest such people normally get? Being paid, please. What's the highest? When they have worked so hard, what will they get? C6? D7? E8? And he will say, thank God, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. I got credit. I say, what credit? Credit 6. Do you know that lecturers are here? When you are looking for courses that are highly competitive, is credit 6 anything that can take any child anywhere? Please talk to me, lecturers. No. Because when they are rating credit 6, they say credit 6, A1 is 10. A2 is 8, B3 is 6, C4 is 4, C5 is 2, C6 is 1. So when you get 6 C6, that's also credit now. You have 6 credits. When we are ready to compute it, not just sorry. Teachers, God has placed you to lay foundations. I am first looking at our physical, ordinary work as teachers. And I want to tell you that it is what? Foundational. What you don't teach now is a foundational failure for that child in the future. So if you are a primary school teacher and you are the one that don't finish your syllabus and you promote the child from primary 1 to primary 2, and all the quantitative analysis that child needs in primary 1, you have not done it. You are a foundational damager. Nobody may arrest you for it because they don't know. But that child has been prepared to be crippled for the rest of his life. And since God is checking everybody that did one thing or the other in the life of a man, your work will be revealed. You see, I'm bringing this to you not because I'm talking for government. I'm talking for God. What that child ought to become for God is already damaged because you at the primary school was busy here and there. And the child was gone. At the secondary school level, as a Christian teacher who has a commission from God, headmaster or principal is not the one to run after you. You know that if I don't do this for this child, I am creating for him a problem that will become inaccessible, that will become invisible, that will become an omission, a deformity in his future. And no one else can correct it. I don't know how it works out, but I know that's how it is. Brother Chema was talking to me some years ago when we were teaching in the college. And he was talking to me about common mistakes in spoken English. And as he was telling me, it immediately registered in my mind. I said, wow. Those of you that use practical English, Ogundipe and Trejido, is that a book like that? If you remember that in that particular text that we were to use in those days from 1 to from 5, before they introduced effective English. I don't know whether effective English is effective. Don't engage me in that argument because I do know. I know the politics. That goes on to change textbooks arbitrarily just for somebody to make money. men that want to make money at the expense of the destiny of the students. But when we were reading practical English in those days, every week, there's a segment on oral English, or what they call phonology or phonetics. And I remember that they were teaching us that time how to twist our mouth. Some of us, we laughed. We didn't learn it. When the teacher is saying we say He said, no, that's not how to say it. We didn't learn it. That's why when I go somewhere now to preach, I'm speaking English to English people, they say, paddy. I have a message to communicate. My language defeats me. Where does it come from? Foundation. There are many people that have anointing, unction to preach. But the teacher that crafted their language made a foundational error. Now, even the gospel cannot be understood. I want you to accept responsibility as a teacher. It is because of the segment where you are. If God will not put you in this segment where you are dealing with the foundation of a student life, of a child, it will not have been much. But you are foundation builders. You are feature developers. Feature. And you know, feature developers, they are those that bring in minute issues, minute details that will become the characteristic features of a man's future. I want to ask you, the necessary, essential labor that a teacher ought to invest in the student, if it was just ordinary cosmetic, I would not worry. But it's fundamental, it's foundational. And while you are busy here and there, he is already gone. Do you know that sometimes it was better for a child not to know something than to know it wrongly? The things that some students have known wrongly has become a blockage to their knowing the right thing. It takes a greater effort to demolish something that has congealed in a man's heart than to bring a complete illiterate to lay a foundation. So, teachers, I talk to you as a servant of God. Even though this message, you can take it anywhere. You can gather teachers anywhere, all over. Whether they are Muslim or anything, it is relevant. But I speak particularly to you first. As a man that has a mandate from God to craft life for a destiny. Your labor on every child, listen, precedes the pastor's ministry. I'm a preacher now, so I cannot discredit the ministry of preaching. That's what I'm doing now for all my life and for the rest of my life. But yet I know that where teachers have not labored, the pastor has a bigger problem. Are we together? So, physically speaking, academically speaking, you are at the segment, foundational. That's where they make choices. Some children have hated certain subjects with passion. Let me ask you, whom did they hate? Possibly is the teacher. Every child comes with an empty hard disk. And it depends on what you write into that hard disk. I don't want you to believe that some children cannot do well in this one. It's not true. Educational theory that we have studied and proved established that every child has capacity to do well in anything, given the right exposure, right approach, right methodology, and right environment. But what makes a child to be skewed negatively to something or positively to something is directly a function of those who handle him. Do you understand that? Can I tell you why? Do you know that in a house, in any family, where the father hated maths, where the mother, anytime they are doing something, say, "Waiting be that." What do you think their children would likely end up doing? So that's why. Just go and check. It's a trend. You will just see it. The strongest influence on a child, many times, actually is the teacher. Because I told you that parents, they voluntarily hand over their child. 2 years, 3 years, they say, "Take it. Make him anything you like. Return him when you are finished." That's the job. This man said, as he was busy here and there. So now let me ask, what must a teacher be busy here and there doing when he has a foundational life to instruct? When you know that time is so precious in what this child can catch now. What should a teacher be busy here and there doing when he has a life that is so impressionable, that is attracting everything everywhere, and you know that you have a limited space to inculcate what you needed to do for a future that God is talking about? That's the first labor. Labor to lay enduring foundations for everything. For everything. Some of you are alive when some years ago, some of our politicians, they did something that we are only reaping now. How many of you remember in those days when primary school was closed down because nobody is paying the primary school teacher salary for about 2-3 years? In some states, some of those schools grew bush. There was an argument that time whether state government should take over the primary school teacher salary or it should remain in the local government and all, and there was confusion. And many students did not have primary education. It was during that period that primary school leaving certificate lost value. How many of you remember? Some of you may even be product of that you don't even have first leaving school certificate now. Because it made no sense. Another government stood up and said, every child, once he enters school, there's no room for repeating. Were you alive during that time? So, whether he passed or he did not pass, what did we do? We pushed them. We promoted them. Just to score a political point that we are doing free compulsory education that has no quality. If you remember, the political argument is some people are talking of quantity education, somebody talking about quality education, and we were all laughing. But do you know that the product of that omission was what finished many of our secondary schools? That's why you now can have students coming out of SS3 and they are unable to write any sentence correct. Of course, you know what he did? He gave room to private schools. And you know what the private schools were doing? They go and get dropouts. Pay them 5,000 naira. Are you a proprietor sitting here? You are paying your staff, 5,000 naira. And you admitted 60 students in a class. Proprietor, God will handle your case. What is the problem? He wants to make money. And the simple economic theory of optimal profit is what he has applied. When you want to make optimum profit in a venture, you reduce overhead costs to the barest minimum. You increase turnover to the highest maximum. That's simple economics. If you can get some people to do something for 5,000, how will you be going to appoint somebody who is demanding for 30,000 for the same job? No way, no way. And if they complain too much, he said, well, I said, okay, if you can start lesson, we will pay you 3,000 if you are doing lesson. Can you imagine a man who has come to work from 8 to 2 p.m.? Oh, to 4. I'm sorry. I don't want to enter into that. Please. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought it is 2 o'clock. What freshness does he have when himself has not taken a break? Don't you know that when we were preparing a timetable in those days, are you hearing me? Subjects like mathematics, English, things that need serious reasoning, you only do it when the teacher is fresh and the students are alert. How can you say now that these children, they should come now and do extra mathematics at 3 p.m.? You yourself, are you not an educationist? What can that teacher teach who is already yawning? He stands before the student are dozing, he himself is yawning, heat is hitting everybody's head. What are you talking about? This is a cheat. Simple child psychology taught us that the attention span of a child at that age is so short. And that part of what relaxes and refreshes a child's capacity is to sleep. And it is not just to sleep anytime. The correct time that a child should take a nap for her head to be released is between 2 and 3:30. You destroy that. You are not expecting that there will be a magic. No. And when the child actually comes around again around 4 p.m., something fresh is with him. And yet the first thing you must allow him to do is to exercise himself. All of that because hungry proprietor who wants to make money and irresponsible parents who don't have time for their children say, just keep them. When I'm closing work at 6 p.m., I'll come and carry him. I hope I'm not creating some problems here. It's okay. The man said, as your servant was busy here and there, the man was gone. To reposition the teaching profession, there's an essential labor of a teacher, and I want you to accept it as a call from God. What you are doing now is foundational for the future of that child. But permit me to move away from ordinary academics. I want you to know without exaggeration that at the same time, when parents thought that they have only employed you to train the cognitive skill, the cognitive domain of their children, they thought that you are just to train them in terms of knowledge. They did not understand that a child is a composite that cannot be separated. His head is not separated from his heart. And his heart cannot be taken away from his hands and legs. So unconsciously and unknown to parents, they thought that the teacher is only to train their children cognitively. They don't know that at the same time, the affective domain, the heart, the attitudinal development, the character formation, the personality development of that child is also in the hand of the teacher at those formative years. So all the teachers that are hearing me, let me tell you now, you are not only laying foundation for their cognitive skills, you are also at the foundational building of their character, of their attitude, of their emotional life, and of their spiritual life. This is why I said, I need every teacher to sincerely be born again. The reason is because, and I want all of you to know, if I want to conduct a quick survey here, and I ask, how many of you got born again or got attracted to the things of God when you were in secondary school? Please let me see your hand up. Wave your hand to me. It was while you were in the secondary school. Stand up, please. Stand up. It was when you were in secondary school that you first met the Word of God and Jesus Christ came into your life. Stand up and wave your hand to the glory of God. God bless you. Thank you. Let me see those who became converted after they have left school, secondary school, and the university. That it was after that Jesus met your life. Please stand up. Please stand up. Let's give glory to God. Did you see the difference? Brethren, did you see the difference? Thank you. I really thank God that you are sitting here today. Sit down, sir. I thank God for the grace of God that came. But the reality of the matter is that even to become converted, biblical economics say, train the child the way it should go. When he grows old, he will not turn from it. Even for souls to be properly rooted, it is during this age bracket that you make the greatest conversion. I use the word greatest, not that people will not be converted at any point, God who saves the thief on the cross is still saving people in their dying minutes. Am I right? God who delivered people at the point of death is still confronting people at various points of their lives. But the truth of the matter is that those that were converted later in life, when several things have been spoiled, you know the difficulty also. The difficulty is that they love the Lord, but the appendages will not let them run far. They love the Lord, they want to serve God, but the two wives he has married, the girl he impregnated outside wedlock, is still waiting. God has forgiven him, but we don't know how to handle the baggage. And God has employed you to be a teacher, to catch them young before they acquire baggages. What a privilege. So when a child is brought to you in secondary school, in primary school, even in the university, God is giving you an opportunity to say, please, my friend, this young man you are seeing has three inseparable composite components: his head, his heart, and his hand. Head, heart, hand. That's how I want to put those three domains: cognitive, affective, psychomotor. Just to make it simple for you so that you don't say, what is cognitive? Head, heart, hand. 3H that you cannot separate from any man. And so when a student comes to you, he's coming with those 3H. His head must be trained, but his heart must be affected, so that his hand will not be paralyzed. So that's the second labor. Laboring to produce a complete personality. Laboring to raise a man of virtue, a woman of honor. When I see small girls, they're tiny girls, in order to change my understanding, I don't say small girl. I'm changing, I say young lady. And the small girl will look and say, you call me lady. I say, you're a lady. You're a lady in the making. That's a lady you see. It's a mother that you are watching. What kind of lady will this girl become? It depends on this foundation you are laying. So the teacher must be well versed in her subject or his subject, but he must be well balanced to handle hearts, to handle affection, to handle emotion, and to handle balanced personality. Because that child that God is giving you is a whole person. And you are the one that has the greatest opportunity You are the one that spend the longest hours of the day with that child. Maybe you don't believe me. You are. The truth is that if he comes from a working class family, when does work begin in Nigeria, please? 8 o'clock. So what are the parents themselves doing when the child is preparing for school? Do you know that everybody is running? Mommy is running, daddy is running, the child is also running. It depends on who is ready first. If the father is ready first, he will go and sit in the car and said, come into the car, let me drop you in school, let me drop you in school. Mommy, we are ready, oh, mommy, we are ready, oh, mommy, we are ready, oh, come out. That's the typical house. And they drop the child. And for the next 8 hours, the child is with you. When they come back, they are coming back around 5. They are tired. They are hungry. Possibly they want to attend a meeting. So they come and say, let's quickly eat, let's quickly eat. They will eat. It's okay. So they will set the child in front of the television. Call it children's game or whatever you call it. Child is there. They have gone out. They are coming back 7:30, 8 p.m. The child is already sleeping. And the routine continues. Who has the most active hour of the children's life when they are active? It's the teacher. It's the teacher. And maybe the television. What can we do about that? Teachers. The labor that does not only deal with the head. Then I said, Lord, you have also given me a blank child with a heart that needed to be guided. A heart that needed to be spoken into. A heart that needed to be trained. A heart that needed to be made wholesome. And because the devil is looking for how to destroy their hearts, God is saying, take care of this for me. And the second passage I read was about how Athaliah, that wicked witch, when she noticed that her son was dead, she decided to kill every other child of the royal seed. I hope you know that that's the devil. Am I right? Who comes to do nothing but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And out of that, this little boy was taken away to be kept. And the Bible said, for how many years? 6 years. How many years do we have in primary school? How many years do we have in secondary school? Oh, did you think that that is by coincidence? God gives you 6 good years. And now, as the school is becoming more and more, kindergarten, the best time to lay it. I don't know I know that somebody may backslide, that's okay. But you see, when a foundation had been laid, even when he backslides, the kukute of the foundation remains.